Howdy do everyone, and welcome back. For today's show I'm going to be putting a lock handle on the stack-on safe. And yeah, well, we're going to get right to it because I don't have a ton of time today. But I must say, I had a nice lock set all together, and I had shot a video already on this. But the day before I was going to do some editing on the video, I came back and I was just going to do a little tinkering around with the lock set, and it broke. So what we have here is a combi cam and the shaft that holds on right there, that rotates, that the cylinder part, it busted right off. It just sheared off. That's not like it's a nut. It's a bolt, and it sheared right off. I'm very disappointed because I was super excited about this. So you set the combination here, and then you turn this, and it works like a knob. It was great. And then it had a backup key. I'm so disappointed it didn't work. I'll try and get my money back, and maybe I'll get a new one, and maybe it'll work better. But yeah, at this point in time, don't waste your money on the combi cam. It is a cheap hunk of junk, and it wasn't cheap either. It was like 32 bucks. There's no way. So instead of doing something new, I'm going to do something that I saw on a different video somewhere, and it's going to be pretty simple. It's a camper style door lever for like a what do you call them, a turtleback shell camper for a truck. What you do is you just have a locking handle. This one's cool because it locks at multiple points. You can lock it open and lock it shut if that's what you need it to do. So it's just a quarter turn. You can lock it this way and you can lock it this way. Pull out the key. If you don't lock it, it just keeps working. This one's got a really long post. There's the information for it right there. It's National Hardware. Find them pretty much anywhere. Picked mine up at Ace Hardware, I believe. Yeah, so I'm not going to use this for keeping burglars out or anything like that. So I'm just going to run a couple screws. More specifically, they're trailer decking screws. So they got a threaded, self-threading piece right here where they've got, probably can't see them on camera because I can barely see them in person. They've got grooves cut into them, and they just kind of cut their way through metal and they bore right through. It's pretty sweet. I used to use them for decking camping trailers. So we're gonna get right to it because like I said, I don't have a ton of time. Got parental junk to do today. See, when you set it up, you're gonna make sure that it rotates the right way for you, because if you rotate the wrong way, it might not work for you. I'm going to go get a marker. I'm going to mark out my holes. I'm going to do a little pre-drill, and then I'm going to put the screws to it. Cool. Here we go. Alright. This is how I want this to rotate. So let's see. Where do I want this to settle in at? I think that's pretty straight up and down. And my pen doesn't quite make it through, I guess. Let's see. My pen doesn't quite make it through, so I'm gonna have to wing it, and I'll just have to see if I can get like a nail or something to scratch through there. Alright, just a second. Alright. Picked up this little drill bit there. Oh, I see why I couldn't see a mark, because it's tucked up underneath it here. That's going to make for an interesting drill out situation. Sorry if my head was in the way. Got to figure out where to line it up, okay? There it is. A fresh screw with a fresh cutting edge. That ought to help. There we go. That ought to do it. Now. Woo, that thing's hot. All right, the idea behind why I went back and forth on these two screws is the same reason that you don't just screw down one lug on your tire, is because if you screw this all the way down and then you go over here and you screw this all the way down, what you create is a fulcrum point, and you give the second screw the leverage to pull back on that other screw, and quite often what will happen is you're going to end up busting the top head off of the other screw. And then this needed a slight adjustment. I had to actually loosen those screws up just a little bit because it affected the how this handle turns. So see what we got going on here. All right, so now I don't know if you remember what a regular stack-on safe looked like, but it was just essentially this flush with this little recess that's back here, and it made it so that you had to use the blade of the key to open your door. And now what we have is this here, which you can see, maybe you can see it. It rotates this piece here. So what I'll have to do is come back with the Dremel grinder and knock these screws back a little bit. Now, let's see how well we did cutting those down. I didn't take any measurements, but let's see, where's mine? So that should be, there we go. It's locked, that's open. There we go. There we have it. What I might do is I might get there's a set ring you can put on top of something like this to keep this from sliding around, because if this slides too far back for some reason, well, doesn't even look like that. I don't think I'll be able to just pull it off either. Oh yeah, so I think I'll just leave it like that. Well, that brings us to the end of today's video. We put a nice handle with a lock on this cabinet. I'll be able to store some stuff in there that I don't want my kids into. And yeah, it actually went smoother and faster than the other one, even though I liked the features of the other one. I'm really disappointed. Just as a reminder, do not buy a combi cam lock. It's a combination cam lock. Quite frankly, unless I get a new one and I can use it and not have it break again, I'm just saying it's junk. It fell apart way too easily. Sheared off just what should be a solid piece of metal. So disappointed. Anyway, see what kind of trouble I can get into tomorrow.